Okay, you ready?
Yes, sir.
And here we go. And we're live here on Facebook. Like to welcome those listening in podcast land, and like to listen or welcome my buddy Rich. Rich, how you doing today?
And I'm doing good, Mike. Well, you do get to listen to me,
yeah.
As well. No, I'm doing good. Yeah, a little tired, but you know.
So you guys were watching a movie. What movie did you end up watching?
We did. Remember the Titans and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Ooh, a double feature for you guys tonight. Yep. That's good. Yeah, we one of our shows that we like that I don't think we've talked to you guys about is Next Level Chef. That started this week. So, well, it started a couple weeks ago, but we watched that tonight and then got ready for these things. So, yeah, we're excited.
Good deal, Mike. Well, Mike, we got a little bit of we got some things to talk about this week. It's the big game, or because I know no censors are watching us, the Super Bowl.
And I believe there's been enough action that you can call it the Super Bowl. You cannot you can't make money, and B, I think you can't advertise. I don't know. It's whatever. We're not having an event. We're just talking about stuff around the Super Bowl, so who cares? What else do we got, Rich?
You know what, Mike? We'll be talking some NASCAR as we got to recap the Busch Clash, and we're also going to give you some driver lineup changes. And Mike, some Chicago Bears made it into Canton.
Yep. Yeah. So on top of that, we also have a Rocket League update and an update on shirt sales. So
all right,
all that and more, Rich. But what's it time to do?
Mike, let's go ahead and roll that intro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich. And we're back. Before we get started on our poll question, Rich, just so everybody knows, A, you like my new tank. 2, you might hear some splashing. I just fed my piranha some new food. So it floats at the top. So that's so as he goes for it, he might make some noise. So you might hear that. He's that away. Don't worry about it. He's fine. I got a good lid. Okay, with that, let's get to our poll question. This week's poll question, Rich, we had
Grape Nuts and Raisin Bran.
Man, this is like a F tier, like the lowest of the low for cereals, in my humble opinion.
But not so much to me, Mike. I actually like Raisin Bran.
I love Raisin. I actually do love Raisin Bran, but again, I would likely not like we don't have Raisin Bran around the house.
Well, we don't have any cereals around the house, really. But you know, when you're eating the continental breakfast, Raisin Bran is usually one of those cereals, and then most of the time it's like Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops.
Yep.
And given those three, I'm going to go with the Raisin Bran.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't generally eat cereal when I'm at the continental breakfast because, as we've talked about before, the way to go is the waffle bar.
Gotcha. We'll get the waffles sooner or later. They are on our poll. We just haven't gotten to them yet.
So, Rich.
So, Mike, where did you vote between Grape Nuts and Raisin Bran?
I voted for Raisin Bran. Grape Nuts to me are gross.
No, Mike. I remember you saying that you eat them hot or cold, and you had said you eat them warm.
So
So do you eat them with milk, or do you just heat up the dry cereal?
I haven't eaten them in like 10 years, man. So
Okay.
last I remember, you mix your milk in your cereal in your milk, and you put it in for 30 seconds, and it
Okay.
apparently tastes good. I that's from Grape Nuts recipe, by the way.
Ooh. Okay.
That's Grape Nuts themselves. So yeah.
Gotcha. So I went with Raisin Bran as well. That would probably be my cereal of choice if I had to get cereal down the cereal aisle. So that's just me. I don't know. I've always liked Raisin Bran.
Yeah, I like Raisin Bran too, but my cereal choice is going to be something like Count Chocula.
Mm,
I like
okay.
I like marshmallows in my cereal. I'm an 8-year-old boy. I don't know what's wrong with me.
All right, Micah. We're going to give our poll shout outs and the final results, Mike.
Rich, you are not going to believe this.
All
How many
right.
people do you think voted in this poll?
I'm gonna go with 20.
14.
Oh, okay. Where'd the votes lie?
Grape Nuts wins 8-6. Or not
Ooh.
Grape Nuts, Raisin Bran. Sorry, Raisin Bran.
Okay.
Raisin
Okay.
Bran
That makes
wins
sense.
8
That
to
makes
6.
sense.
Uh, the 8 people that voted for Raisin Bran: me, Michael, Almuir, uh,
Okay.
Debbie Scranton Washburn, Leah Kruger, Brooke Rice, Mark Hendricks, Rich Hendricks, and Josh Couture. Those that voted for Grape Nuts: Solomon Stroop, Pam Hendricks, Sue Hart, Ron Lehmans, Danielle Hart, and Ashley Lindquist. So, Rich, what is this week's poll question going to be?
All right, Mike. We're gonna go with breakfast burritos or tacos. They can go either way. We're gonna go sausage, bacon, or chorizo. Though if you do not have a choice to make it an all meat breakfast taco or burrito, you can only have one protein within the breakfast taco or burrito.
So, the next question is: this is
Okay.
just burrito because we're gonna do like sandwiches later, right? Like I'm thinking of a specific sandwich. I think you kind of are now that I brought it to your attention. A delicious chorizo, egg, and Gouda with on a ciabatta bread from
Hmm.
Red Band.
Yeah, that is a good sandwich.
Are we gonna do those at some point?
A sandwich. I guess we can. I can make a sausage, bacon, chorizo like sandwich, egg
Like
sandwich with it later on.
do we split up between whether you put it on a croissant? Like is it just sandwich? Or, like I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't know. We'll have to workshop this a little bit
Okay.
off here
So
to make sure that the list is there.
okay.
Uh,
So we have
that
sausage.
that gets on there.
We have sausage. We have bacon, and we have chorizo.
Yeah, one protein, assuming with egg and cheese in the burrito.
And
In the
salsa,
burrito
or
taco.
I mean, it's kind of whether you want the salsa or not. Like that's kind of up to you.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that'll go live probably tomorrow midday-ish.
Mhm.
You're guessing? Okay, perfect.
Probably.
Rich, are you ready to talk about some football?
I am like 2 more weeks of football to talk about because I'm pretty sure that we're not going to cover the UFL Spring
Whoa,
League
whoa.
every single week. We could.
I mean, it's football. It's going to be the
It is
greatest
football.
spring football we've seen ever in our lives.
But of course, your next always comment is so. Are they going to make it to the end of the year, or when are they going to file bankruptcy?
I didn't say it, but I thought it.
I know. All right, Margaret. But this week it is the Super Bowl, the big game, whatever you prefer to call it. Before we give who we're going to pick to win the game, Mike, let's see which team do we feel has the advantage. And Mike, I've given you links of the depth chart if you would like to
Yep.
look them over. First one I think is rather easy. Starting quarterback. Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, honestly, we both agree that it's probably Patrick Mahomes. But
Yes.
Brock Purdy
Yeah.
is putting himself in a conversation about being a great quarterback at the moment.
Yes.
Now,
So
I
go
will
ahead.
say, because we're looking at full depth chart,
Oh yeah. Yep.
you got to look at your second strings. You got Sam Darnold versus Blaine Gibbert.
Given that if you're looking at just those two backup quarterbacks, then I'd go lean toward the 49ers. So I don't think the 49ers would have to scale down their playbook as much if Sam Darnold was forced into action.
Yep.
Whereas if Patrick Mahomes goes down, I think that you could see the offense drastically change to where they're going to be going more short passes or even running the ball to as the limit or to cover up for the gap in talent between Mahomes down to Gabbert.
Right. And so I 100% agree. And then the third strings don't really matter, but you have Brandon Allen versus Ian Book. Honestly, Rich, those two flip a coin, and on any given day, like you put them head to head, I couldn't tell you which one would win at any point. So in that case, I would probably go with the same type of logic, that the difference between their starting quarterback and their third string quarterback is a lot shorter than between Patrick Mahomes and some guy I've never heard of.
Yeah, well, but Blaine Gabbert was a former top 10 pick.
No, I'm not talking Blaine Gabbert. I'm not talking Blaine Gabbert. I'm talking down to the third string.
Brandon Allen was his name?
If we go from Brock Purdy to Brandon Allen versus going from Patrick Mahomes to Ian Book.
Yeah. I think Brandon Allen has gotten a couple of starts here and there on some bad football teams, but I don't think Ian Book has seen any game action since college.
Yeah. So he would
college or preseason at least.
Yeah.
But something really bad happened if that quarterback is pressed into action.
So just so you know, he had in 2023 his career stats. He has played a total of 15 games. Brandon Allen has played a total of 15 games. Ian Book, let's see. Survey says, he has played a total of 1 game in New Orleans. 12 completions.
Most of his NFL action has come in the preseason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the running backs, Mike.
By the way, did we?
Go ahead.
So when you talk, but now here's the question: is the gap between the two, between the top and the middle and the bottom, does San Francisco make up for it, or is it the offense as a whole makes up for it? That I think it's actually the offense as a whole makes up for it. I still give it to Kansas City.
Okay. So yeah, overall quarterback, just looking at the starters, it's Kansas City. But I think that if you're looking at the entire quarterback depth chart, I think I feel more comfortable with the 49ers, that the rest of their offensive talent could make up for going down to a backup, where I don't know if Kansas City could cover that up.
Yes, but Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes. And remember, what was it, 2 years ago when he had, a broken leg and he played, an entire half? The man couldn't hardly walk and still won a playoff game. We didn't know if he was going to play in the Super Bowl. That guy, for him to come out would be crazy. But yeah, I think you're right. The entire depth chart there. So next, let's move on to running back. So your starters, Rich. Deebo Samuel versus... I'm sorry, Christian McCaffrey. Wow.
Debo does get some plays where he is lined up as a running back
Yep.
and not from the receiver or receiving it on a jet sweep.
Yep.
So I'll give you that one. I think
Sorry.
that I would consider Debo Samuel
I
to
had
be
I had scrolled
around
down
the running
further
back.
on the on the Niners depth chart, so they weren't next to each other. So I was looking at Isaiah Pacheco for Kansas City, and I looked at the same line, and it was Debo at the time. But I'm sorry, I got to where I needed to be.
But yeah, Christian McCaffrey and Isaiah Pacheco. Just looking at the starters, I'd have to give the advantage over to the 49ers with McCaffrey.
But that is not the whole story on
It's not.
Kansas City, because Kansas City uses Clyde Edwards-Helaire a ton.
They're forcing to use him at a ton because I think their normal second running back RB2 is Jerick McKinnon, who's on the IR.
Right. But either way, Clyde Edwards, if you're just looking at starters, sure, maybe. But if you're looking at the entire depth chart, even adding Clyde Edwards-Helaire, that guy adds a ton of depth to that depth chart. And honestly, I give it to Kansas City on that one.
Okay. I guess looking at the entirety of if Pacheco went down and they had to turn things over to Edwards-Helaire, I think I would feel comfortable with Edwards-Helaire coming in as an RB2, having to take a bigger role if something happened to the starter, as I would with Eli Mitchell taking over, having to come in and take more reps because McCaffrey has to take extended drives off due to an injury or he's nursing an injury. So I like that. But for the start, once again, starters, I would probably give it to the advantage over to the Niners. Looking at the entire depth chart, I'd go with Kansas City as well. Wide receivers, Mike.
Okay.
You got Kansas City's a group of Rashee Rice, Justin Watson, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Sky Moore, and possibly Ricky James and Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
If they decide to dress Kadarius Toney.
Yep.
Over on the 49ers, you got Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, Ray McLeod, Chris Conley.
Okay. Looking at your top starters, I think you got to give it to Debo.
Yeah, the main starters, if you're only going to look at it from a perspective of wide receiver 1 and 2 and not going into the 3, 4, 5, I would give it to San Fran as well. But I mean, everybody in the regular season was criticizing this wide receiver core because they couldn't hang on to the football and that Mahomes was throwing the no names.
Yeah.
But the no names, the people that couldn't hang on to the ball, are playing beyond outperforming what they did in the regular season. So they're coming up clutch when it matters.
Yep.
But talent-wise and name-wise, I
don't know.
like San Francisco's wide receiving core better than Kansas City's.
So I like Marquez Valdez-Scantling better than Juwan Jennings. Watson, Ayuk, I'd probably go with Ayuk. Yeah, I suppose I give it to San Francisco on this one.
All right. Tight ends.
Man.
George Kittle, Travis Kelce.
Man, this one is beyond tight. These are two of the best tight ends we've seen in years, if not ever. Travis Kelce is would you say, and he has another 15 years to play, by the way, to get to the full status. But would you say that Travis Kelce is playing like Joe Montana's Tony Gonzalez?
Tony Gonzalez did not play with Joe Montana.
Didn't he play with him in Kansas City?
No, he did not. I believe Tony Gonzalez, I think, might have had Trent Green as his main quarterback, but Montana and Tony Gonzalez never overlapped. But yeah, I mean, Travis Kelce is probably. I think that he is, because of the production he's been able to put up, is better of a tight end in Kansas City history, probably better than Tony Gonzalez. To where if I'm just comparing Kittle and Kelce, I take Travis Kelce every single time. Because I think he is a focal point of the offense, where George Kittle, meanwhile, he's a great Pro Bowl caliber tight end, he's not necessarily the focal point of that offense like Travis Kelce is in Kansas City.
Okay.
What'd you find, Mike?
You are correct, sir. They missed by 1 year.
1 year.
Or 2 years. Sorry, 2 years. So.
Okay. So Kelce or Kittle?
I gotta go with Kelce, man.
Okay.
Like,
now, okay.
I can't. The way he plays, he's a better tight end in general. He's a better receiving tight end. Kittle is a better all-around tight end. Don't get me wrong. You don't want to be trying to rush on Travis Kelce. He will put you down. But George Kittle is a better blocking tight end than Travis Kelce.
Okay. Moving on to the O-line to finish out the offense. San Francisco, you got All-Pro Trent Williams, Aaron Brooks, Jake Brindle, John Feliciano, and Colton McCarrance. With Kansas City, you have Donovan Smith, the veteran Donovan Smith. A questionable, don't know who their left guard is going to be because Joe Turney is currently out.
Yep.
So it could be Nick Andretti, more than likely. Creed Humphrey at center, Trey Smith at the right guard, and Jawan Taylor on the right side.
Yeah. Joe being out really hurts Kansas City. He's been one of their best guards, and one of those guys that just has been great at keeping Patrick safe. I got to give this to San Francisco.
All right.
Are you keeping track of these, by the way?
A little bit. No, not really. Just it's a talking point for me.
Okay. I thought if you were going to ask all the questions, we should probably, go through and see. But that's fine.
Okay. For me, I think that both offensive lines, for me, they're even. I think just going off of what their line offers, I think I'd probably more lean towards San Francisco. But you're talking Joe Turney going down kind of hurts Kansas City. But if Trent Williams, the all-pro left tackle in San Francisco, goes down, that offensive line takes there's a big difference with the backups. If Trent Williams gets knocked out, and he's had an injury history because it was in that 3-game losing streak that San Francisco had.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, that was when Trent Williams was also out injured.
Yeah.
So as a whole, I think I would more lean with Kansas City. But with a healthy offensive line, San Francisco.
Yeah. Okay. I think Trent is not technically questionable for Sunday's game, I thought.
No, he's not. But he has had a couple of injuries come up.
And with Joe being out, that's my big thing. But I get you.
Gotcha.
Okay. Let's now move over to the D line. San Francisco starts out with the ends, with the left defensive end of Chase Young, left tackle Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave as their right tackle, and Nick Bosa as their right end. Rich, who does Kansas City have?
George Kaialofis, Neil Farrell, Chris Jones, and Mike Dana.
I think one of those names on there gives a really heavy hand to San Francisco.
All right, Mike, go ahead and expand on your thought.
Nick Bosa, man. He is a wrecking machine when it comes to the defensive line.
But so is Chris Jones with Kansas City.
But Nick Bosa, I think Nick Bosa is a better rusher. That he is that edge rusher that everybody's looking for. Chris Jones is the inside rusher that everybody wants. We've seen in the past 5 to 10 years that an edge rusher coming in is much more interruptive than an interior rusher. Because what a edge rusher does, it sets that edge. The quarterback can't go in that direction. A middle rusher, that guy, he's just coming straight at the quarterback. Yes, Chris Jones is quick and can get there fast enough, but there's places for quarterbacks to go. Brock Purdy is shockingly mobile. For a Mr. Irrelevant, he is shockingly mobile. I gotta give San Francisco this one.
Yeah, I like San Francisco's D line better as well. But don't sleep on the Chiefs. They might not be guys you heard of, but they get the job done.
Yep. So let's go with that secondary, Rich.
All right, the secondary. Well, you split off. We didn't talk about the linebackers, I guess. You got your linebackers, Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, Owen Burks. Over on Kansas City, you're looking at William Gay, Nick Bolton, and Dre Tranquill.
On this one, I think I got to give it to just overall Fred Warner. If I had to pick one of these guys, Fred Warner's the one. But as a whole, I like Kansas City better.
Okay. I like San Francisco's linebackers. As a whole, Greenlow came up really big has come up really big down the stretch for him, and Fred Warner's always bringing a pole bowler. Yep. Mike, the secondary.
Yeah. So this. Okay.
So you'd have with San Francisco, you'd have Kadarius Ward, Jamar Brown, Treshaun Gibson, and DeAndre Lamore.
Yep.
Well, with Kansas City, you have Janarius Sneed, Justin Reed, Mike Edwards, and Trent McDuffie.
Kansas City.
Yeah, I would agree. They got two good corners there, while Kansas City, San Francisco just has Ward. So, yeah.
Now, we're talking just basic head-to-head. We are not – we're just comparing position for position. We haven't even gotten into who's covering who, because that changes some of these. Because when you start putting in, like, who's covering that – which linebacker's got to deal with Kelsey? And if you're going to put a linebacker on him, good luck. You almost want to put a corner on him for when he goes out, but you got to put a linebacker on him to keep him honest. Like that's where this gets even more complicated. We're giving you just a bare bones top of the line.
Yeah.
Kansas City's my pick on the secondary. Let's move into special teams. place kicker Harris Butker and Jake Moody. Kansas City first. I gave you Kansas City first and San Francisco. Rich, I like I like Moody better.
I'm opposite you, Mike. I think Pucker's a lot more accurate. Moody's already missed a couple kicks in this playoff game. They could have. That was a difference maker in that game with Detroit when he missed a field goal in that game with Detroit. So if it comes down to a place kicker needing, if I had access to both guys and I had a 40-yard field goal to win the game, I'd want Butker kicking that ball, not Moody.
Okay. Punter and holder Tommy Townsend for Kansas City and Mike Wisnowski for San Francisco.
Wisnowski?
Wisnowski.
Yeah. Just looking at the rest of the special teams, your punter, Tommy Townsend, Mitch Wisnowski. I think Tommy Townsend's the better punter out of those two. Kick returners really for me, neither of these teams really have a standout guy that's known for being a good kick returner, so I think they're kind of even on those.
Okay. And then, So, the biggest question of them all, who has the best girlfriend?
I don't even know if I don't even know who a big celebrity fan is in San Francisco.
Yep, nope. So it looks like Kansas City wins that one too. So, with that, Rich, do you want to do prop bets first, or do you want to do the
let's do your prop bets, and then we will take the.
You act like you don't enjoy doing these every. Do you not like these every year? I thought you did. I thought these are great. I love these. Okay, we're doing prop bets.
I know you do.
Okay, Rich, you are the orange pen. I am the pink pen. Okay.
Okay.
Over under length of the national anthem in seconds. 87.5.
I think Reba McEntire comes in under.
We
do not have to be different, Mike. We do not have to be different.
I actually agree on that one.
Okay. The next one, Mike.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
Tails never fails.
Okay.
Who wins the game? We'll do that in a second.
We'll do that at the end.
Game total, over under 47.5.
I'm going to go take the under.
I'm taking the over. The first offensive play will be a run or a pass.
I think no matter which team gets the ball, I think it's going to be a run.
I'm picking a pass. Will there be a score in the first 7 minutes? Under 7 minutes. So 6:59.
Yes.
I agree. Which team will score first?
Yeah, it almost depends on who gets the ball first.
I'm picking.
But I'll take San Fran.
I'm taking Kansas City. The jersey number of the first touchdown scored, will it be an even or an odd?
McCaffrey is 23, so give me the odd. And I think Deebo Samuel is an odd number as well.
Travis Kelce is an odd, so I'm taking an odd.
Okay.
Okay. First accepted penalty will be against who?
Kansas City. Their offensive line tends to have a lot of false starts.
I agree. A score will happen in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Yes.
Yes.
A team will score 3 consecutive times, not including a PAT?
No.
Yes. Brock Purdy passing yards over under 248.5.
I'm going to take the under.
As am I. Patrick Mahomes 260.5. Over.
I'm going to take the under on this one. They've been running the ball a lot more.
Total yards, total receiving yards for George Kittle 48.5. Over.
Yeah, I'll take the over on that, and give me the over on Travis Kelce receiving yards as well. He can get over 70.
Yeah, I agree.
The length of the longest successful field goal in yards. Will somebody kick longer than 48 and a half?
46 and a half.
Oh, it's 46. Okay.
That's a huge difference. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but 2 yards at that distance is huge. I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to go under on that one.
The team with the longest successful field goal.
Give me the Chiefs.
I agree. The length of the longest touchdown in yards, over under 44.5.
Neither of these teams, in my opinion, really air out the ball anymore. I mean, it's a lot of yards after the catch, but that still counts. So, but yeah, I'll play it safe. I'll take the over.
Okay. Team with the longest touchdown.
Niners.
Chiefs.
Okay.
Total number of quarterback sacks, over under 4.5. Over.
Yeah, okay, I'll go over as well. Total turnovers, Mike, over 2.5.
What do you got?
Give me the under on this. I think both teams want to take care of the ball.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that 2.5 is a great number. I think 2 is where it'll be at most. Number of challenges initiated by a coach, over under 1.5.
Yeah, but each of them will. Each coach will challenge. So yeah, definitely got to take the over on that. Why would you? I'm surprised this isn't like at 2.5.
Will there be an extra point or a missed point after?
I'm gonna go no.
I'm gonna go yes. And you mentioned
color,
who it's gonna be.
Color of the Gatorade bath, Mike. Water, clear, orange. Any other color?
I'm gonna go with other color.
I'm like an orange. So give me the first option, which has orange. And our final one: position of the Super Bowl MVP, quarterback or any other position.
Quarterback.
I'm going to go other position.
You think it's going to be Travis Kelce?
I think it could be Christian McCaffrey.
I think it's going to be Taylor Swift.
All right.
Interesting
Mike.
prop bets that we are not actually biting on is that you apparently I found an article that said you can bet on some prop bets just for Taylor Swift. One of them is will she be shown during the national anthem? That's one of them. Another one that you can do: who will be shown first, Travis or Tay-Tay? And finally, the other one that I thought was interesting is the number of times. I couldn't find the over-under for number of times Tay-Tay is on air. But, yeah. So those are our prop bets.
See, I'm surprised one they wouldn't have included is who will be shown on camera first: Donna Kelce, Jason Kelce, or Taylor Swift.
Yeah. So speaking of Jason Kelce, over-under on his shirts is 1.5. How do you have 1.5? Like, is he going to change his shirt? I think I take the over.
What, do you think that he would be wearing one shirt, go shirtless for a little while, and then the wife or mom gets on him, put a shirt on?
Nope.
Put a shirt on. You're embarrassing yourself. And then he puts on a different shirt.
I think, A, he puts a shirt on at some point, and B, he somehow gets one of the Kansas City Chiefs shirts post-game.
Ooh.
I want if that counts. That's one thing I need to find out. But if that counts. Okay, Rich, we're done with the prop bets.
Well, no, but there's still actually one more prop bet that's on the sheet that we chose not to answer, and that's who's going to win the game, Mike.
But that's not a prop bet. That's like the bet.
Yeah, I know. But that was on your prop. That is on your prop game sheet.
You're right.
Number 3, game winner.
Okay, game winner.
Mike, you had the better record in the playoffs, so even though we've already talked pregame on who's going to win the game, I'll let you choose first and announce your pick first.
I'm going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. Any reason why?
Why would you bet on Why would you bet against Patrick Mahomes at this point?
Well, I am for the third time this playoff, so I'm hoping that the third time's the charm.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. But I mean, we went through. But we did go through which position groups. Hey, go. Did not think we've already been talking that long. Oh well, we might have to kick some things down the road to next week. But I think that when we looked at the position group, which position group has the advantage, we answered San Francisco a lot more than Kansas City. But the X factor there is Patrick Mahomes, though. Hard to bet against him.
Yeah. Okay. I think the biggest thing though with that when we looked at which one was which, a lot of those positions are positions that are contingent on someone else. And where is the biggest game changer made in the game in all of in all of football? It's the quarterback. So, okay, real quick, Rich, let's talk about the Bears get 3 Pro Bowlers this year.
3 Hall of Fame candidates going
Hall of Fame.
into Canton.
Yeah.
You have Devin Hester as a I think he got in more for his work as a special teams player, as a kick returner, punt returner, but they list him as a wide receiver as well. They also get Julius Peppers.
Yep.
And also Steve Mongo McMichael. Other people going in include Patrick Willis, Andre Johnson, and Randy Guslier, and Dwight Freeney.
Yeah.
But we're only focus on the Bears. Well deserved for Devin Hester, maybe as a whole. Nobody impacted a game quite like he did during his heydays in Chicago, and it was probably that magical season with Devin Hester putting the fear in you of do not kick the ball to him, because when he got his hands on the ball, oof, that was an exciting time to watch.
Anytime the ball got in his hands, you thought it wasn't even a matter of it could happen. You thought it was going to happen. Like, that's the difference.
So well-deserved. Julius Peppers had a long career as well. And good for Mongo McMichael getting in as well, especially with him battling ALS right now and not being anywhere near the stature and individual that he once was. Actually got a chance to meet Mongo once as he was the speaker at our at a battalion ball that we had at his restaurant in the Chicagoland area.
Nice.
He came and talked. Great guy, nice guy.
We will talk honors next week. Honors are happen tomorrow night. So,
Nope, they've actually been announced. That
oh,
was last night, but yeah, well, we can talk that next week.
well, we can let's do it. Let's do it real quick. Lamar Jackson got the MVP. Um, Offensive Player of
He
the
was,
Year
yep.
was Christian McCaffrey. Uh, C.J. Stroud, obviously,
Hmm.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, like by far and away. Myles Garrett won his first Defensive Player of the Year. That's his first.
That's his first. I guess I think I would have given it to T.J. Watt myself, but
Wow. The
he's had a lot of times where he's gotten injured somewhere in the season or suspension
that
as
guy
well. But
is
yeah,
wow. Okay, yeah. Uh, and then William Anderson won the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Rich, who got the Coach of the Year?
coach of the year was Kevin Stefanski.
Yep.
And I thought D'Amico Ryan's probably deserved a lot of credit, taking a 3-13 lottery team all the way to the second round of the playoffs. It's kind of hard to argue against Kevin Stefanski going through five quarterbacks in one season and still getting into the playoff, guiding his team to a playoff with that many quarterbacks under center in one season.
But you did mention about how does Dan Campbell not get it?
Yeah.
That's to me that should have been. I mean, he should have been if not first, second. I agree. Kevin deserves it, but I think Dan probably deserves it more. But I'm amazed. I'm amazed at who got comeback player of the year. I don't have words. How did a man that died on the field get surpassed by a guy that just retired or basically didn't get picked up? Yeah, he took him to the playoffs, but Joe Flacco did Joe Flacco things in the playoffs. Lost.
Well, Mike, I can understand you saying that. Well, Damar Hamlin should have had it because he literally died on the field, came back.
Yeah.
But would you like to know Damar Hamlin's stats for this year?
It's I don't agree that the comeback player of the year is about stats. What were the stats for Alex Smith when he came back? Did they really were they that much better than everybody else's?
Damar Hamlin played. I'm looking at his stats for this year. He
Yeah.
played in 2 games.
He
Week 10,
died.
Week 12.
He died, Rich. Dead. He was dead. On the field. We watched him die. We watched him fall over dead on the field. When was the last time you saw a man dead come back to life and play football at a professional level?
All right. I
They gave it
I
to
think
Alex
that,
Smith because they almost had to amputate his leg. But yet a
and
man
he still played a significant amount of games for coming back and winning it. I mean, I think that yeah, I think the comeback player of the year award, I think actually went to somebody that at least the people that were up for it were legitimate contender, legitimate reasons to give the award, not just a guy that had a freak injury, that had an injury, was out the entire year, and then came back like everybody expected he would and put up the exact same numbers that he did pre-injury. Because I bet you Aaron Rodgers will be the comeback player of the year next year.
Joe Flacco only played 5 games.
But what did he do in those 5 games?
He had a record of 4-1. Completed 123 passes for 204 attempts. At 16 yardage. I did not realize he had 13 touchdowns. That actually is more impressive. But 8 interceptions.
But he did spark the Browns because that's when they started getting hot and started winning, even when he put them down in the hole by giving up two or three turnovers.
So last year he played for the Jets. He played 5 games. So he played the same amount of games as he did last year.
But his play was better in Cleveland.
Just a little bit. Not by much. Not by a ton. He did have significantly more touchdowns. You are correct. But the rest of the stat line on that, not that much more impressive. In fact, he had less interceptions. 5 less interceptions. In 5 games, that's 1 full interception a game that he threw more this year than he did last year. And one of those he didn't even start. Much worse team. I can't give it to him. I can't give it to him.
Okay. We're going to probably have to agree to disagree, but a guy that appeared in 2 games and had 4 tackles.
Okay. Anyway, we'll move on. It's fine.
All right, Mike. So that wraps up our NFL talk. And Mike, before we go into our quick hits, let's go into the NASCAR corner real quick. So because this is what we always do before we start talking NASCAR. What do you see coming up, Mike?
It's a left turn, and after that, Rich?
It's another left-hand turn, Mike. And why is that?
Because we're heading into the NASCAR corner, presented as always by III Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs on 5th Avenue in Moline or on their eBay store. Once again, that is III Sports Cards Incorporated.
All right, Mike. So we had the Busch Light Clash. Mike, you picked Denny Hamlin. I had Ross Chastain. So we both picked our favorite drivers, Mike. Who won the race, and was it a good race, Mike?
It was. I watched the last 100 laps. It was fine.
Okay.
And Denny Hamlin won.
Yeah, I did not get to watch the race. I was planning on watching it until I found out that they changed it to a Saturday night race. And I was at a trivia night fundraiser for Youth Hope, so I didn't get to watch. So I didn't get a chance to watch the race.
Okay.
And I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it as on record either.
Yep, no big deal. Don't forget to get your fantasy lineup in for the Daytona 500, which is next week. You can do that today if you would like.
Yep.
If you want to join our fantasy NASCAR, the link will be in the description below. And with that, this was the NASCAR Corner presented by III Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out on 5th Avenue. Let's get to our quick hits. Rich, the USFL and the XFL merged. We'll talk about that next week.
Another week.
Yeah.
Another week.
Rocket League update. We're officially we're ranked 3rd in the state, and we are going directly to state for our division and our class. The shirt sale has ended, and product has been ordered, but has not arrived. Hopefully, early next week we'll get them so we can wear those cool shirts to state. It's going to be awesome. And with that, Rich, any personal shout-outs?
Yeah, I got to wish a happy birthday to Alicia down in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Her birthday is actually today. So.
Oh, happy birthday, Alicia. Didn't even realize that it was your birthday. Happy birthday. And anything else before we get going?
I don't. Do you have any shout-outs, Mike?
I don't. We don't have any reaction or comment shout-outs. So with that, Rich, we still have 6 minutes. Do you want to talk anything else in that 6 minutes?
No, I think we're good. We caught up everything. we can't start a conversation. The things that we skipped over cannot be. Cannot. I don't. I'd rather not rush it,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
rather not rush it. So go ahead and roll the outro, Mike, and we'll end in under an hour for once.
Yeah.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.